Can you all see my screen with the presentation on there? That says financial education for teens. Can you see all that? Can you all see that?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Great. So please feel free to use the chat box. I will try and go in there periodically just to check what you guys have put on there as well. And this was kindly sponsored by Anna Chimwa Yange for her birthday. She said, I want to invest in our teens learning financial literacy. So I just want to thank her for that. Such an important message. I mean, I came to England when I was 16 years old. And when I arrived, my first job was in McDonald's, and I was making money. All my money went to buy CDs. Back in the day, it was CDs. Every week a new chart album would be released, and there I was, getting CDs, new boots, new clothes. And it was fun. It was good to earn your own money. But in hindsight, if I'd have known at that time some of the things, some of the places that could make one's money grow, rather than just being a consumer, it would have really changed my life. And the reason why I'm excited about talking to you guys is because you are right now in an amazing position where you actually don't have to be paying bills yet. When we came first, and your parents could probably relate to this. We didn't have our parents here, so we very soon after had to start paying rent. And when we went to uni, it was all student loans, student debt. And we didn't quite understand how the credit system was working. And by the time we were done with that, if you speak to a lot of your parents, they had messed up their credit ratings, if you've heard about credit ratings. So today I just want to touch base on some of those key fundamentals just to give you the basic foundation of money. um, Three things I want you to remember is when it comes to money, because I think most of us here, if anyone gives you money for your birthday or money to go and spend with your friends, it's like, yeah, it's good stuff, right? Um, but there are also so many scams out there because if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is, right? And I just want you to have that at the top of your mind whenever you are now starting to have interactions out there in the world with people who are saying they can do this and they can do that. Many young people have had their destinies ruined literally, by falling for scams, by being trapped, by being told, okay, just take the satchel to London, I'll give you £2,000. And you think, wow, that sounds simple enough. I just take a satchel to London, 2 grand, that's amazing. And you're thinking, I'll buy those trainers, I'll buy that chain, all the things that you want. But actually, there's so many traps that are out there. And hopefully today it'll be a session where we can just touch base on a range of things, but start to get you focused on this concept of you understanding money. I have a training brand that I use, which is all geared about building generational wealth through financial literacy. And one of my passions is that the potholes that our generation went through, your generation shouldn't have to go through. Some of you might be disillusioned by your parents and think, oh, mom, you're no good with money or whatever. You can't really blame your parents because we came from, if a lot of your parents are from Zimbabwe or Southern Africa or and have moved here and were first generation here, the system was totally different. Our parents never sat down with us culturally. It was taboo to even talk about money, and you would not know what the budget was for the family. It was simply a case of there's no money for that. I have no money for that. And that would be that. But we were not really trained, the majority of us, on how to use money. So forgive your parents, those of them who you think, oh, they could be better, or who are not inspiring you with their money journey. And just as a little disclaimer as well, what I'm talking to you about here is not specific financial advice. Please don't go away and say, oh, auntie talked about shares, so I'm going to go and now buy shares. No, sit down with your mom and dad where you are and start to go through things with them as well. So take some of the concept that you've learned here and get them to go through safe platforms, safe areas for you to start to learn some of these things. Some of you, I might be teaching grannies to suck eggs. You might already have started investing. I don't know how many of you have that child benefit money that comes in and your parents are investing it for you. Just show of hands. How many of you have a child trust fund and you know what that's got? And sometimes when you get your birthday money, you say, hey, I want to put some of my money in my child trust fund. If I can get a show of hands, anyone who's already started investing. And there's so many things to invest in, actually, but we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. Yeah. Great. So, like I said, I'm an independent mortgage and insurance advisor. That's my 9 to 5 job. I help people find money to buy properties and invest in properties. I also help them set up insurances. So that's personal insurances and trusts and wills, which I'll talk to you what they are in a minute later on and towards the end, just to have an idea, an overall idea of money. And I'm also an author. I've written 13 books so far, so enjoy writing, a mentor. And so I truly believe in living out your best life, discovering your passions, your skills, the things that you enjoy, because I think that money comes to you easier when you are operating from your places of strength, which again is why am really passionate about speaking to you guys at this age, because you are at that wonderful time where you can use the currency of time wisely, by discovering, who am I? What do I carry? What am I good at? What can I learn? What skills can I add onto myself to add value to myself? So that by the time I'm out of the house of mom and dad. I've spoken to a few parents who are like, I'm trying to push them out of the house now. They're 25 and they still want to, live off us. There's a time where your parents will say, my friend, go and sort yourself out there. But you want to be well equipped for life when that time comes. And that theme of stability was something that a few of you mentioned. So hopefully I'll give you a few key tools to do that today. So in this journey of your money journey, right? Here you are, you're teenagers, you're gonna go to uni, you're gonna get a good job, you're gonna get married, perhaps have kids, you're gonna start a business, you're gonna do a property empire. Some of you are dreaming of traveling the world. All of that journey is gonna need money along the way. Yeah. So one of the key things you must learn pretty soon is how to make money. Yeah, and we'll talk about a few of those different things in a minute. The other pillar that I want you to learn about is spending money. So these are 6 pillars that are pivotal to understand in your money journey. Making money, you need to understand how to spend money. You need to understand how to save or invest or grow that money. You also need to understand how to borrow money wisely. You also need to know how to protect your money, and you need to know how to pass money on or give it properly in an appropriate way. Huh. And most of us are really just concerned about making money. You go on Instagram, you go on all these influencers. It's like, I'm making 500,000 a year, I'm making 1 million a year, I'm making 10 million. But do you know how much they are spending to make that money? Maybe they make 1 million and it costs them 500,000 to make that million. What are the expenses that are associated with making that money? Perhaps after all the bills and all the salaries and all the expenses are paid, they've only got 20,000. In which case, they're no different from someone who's maybe gone to work 3 days a week and earned 20,000 without all that other drama. So making money is, you've got to decide, how can I use my hour best? So write this down in your book or in your journal where you have, how can I get the most money for the least time? How am I going to be doing that in life? So that's how you can, station yourself well there. And on spending money, is this money, am I spending money on things that's making that money work for me? Yeah. Is your money actually working for you? Because guess what? The way the world system is geared is to take your money. You just need to go anytime in the supermarket. Every time you hear that tea, 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 Mr. Tesco's, Mr. Sainsbury's, their bank account is receiving. Yours is being emptied out. Yeah. So you need to start to think, this spend that I'm making, is it really adding value? Do I really need it? Is it a want? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. There's sometimes we want certain things and we should have them. That's life, isn't it? But it's you starting to actually not just be mindlessly tapping, tapping, tapping with your card, but actually processing with your mind and thinking, is this really a good buy? Do I really need to buy this now? Or can I wait? Is this an urgent spend? Because failure to manage the spending money pillar right is going to lead to a lot of problems that will destabilize you financially. Now, saving and growing money, again, extremely, extremely important because you know what? If you don't put some of the money that you have today somewhere for it to grow, there's this thing called inflation. I don't know if many of you have heard the Bank of England forecast every month inflation is up, inflation is down. Inflation is the cost of goods growing up. And inflation, you always want to beat inflation with the money that you're not using today. Give you a quick example. If I had £100 last year, okay, maybe £100 is too much for some of you. Let's say £50 last year. Can £50 buy you the same things today that it would buy you March last year? No, you would struggle. I remember just a couple of years ago giving my daughter, I said, oh, go to the movies. There's £20. She said, mom, £20. What is that? What world are you living in? £20. That is not even movie and popcorn, my friend, So you now need to know, for the money that I'm planning to spend next year on movie and popcorn, it has to be somewhere where it will grow more at the pace that inflation is and beating it. And we'll start talking to you later on about investments and things that you could do with that. And then borrowing money, that's really, really important because in your life journey, you're going to borrow money at some point, be it to buy a house, in which case you need a mortgage. Some of you are going to start driving soon at 17. There's car insurance. Sometimes the car insurance, let's say, is £3,000 for the year. As a new driver, it can be very expensive. So rather than pay for it upfront for a year, many people can't afford to do that and put that 3,000 there. They'll pay monthly for it. And it might be 200, 300 a month, depending on what your premium is. That money is going to be charged at an interest rate. You started the borrowing game. And that record of yours starts to go on your credit record. Your credit record is like your financial passport. Guard it like you are guarding your passport, your ID. Don't let people have your sensitive information. Don't let people access your bank cards. Just safeguard your sensitive data because this will be affected greatly for the rest of your life. Protecting money, that's another thing I'm going to talk about a little bit about fraud and also the things that you can do to safeguard some of your money, and then passing money on or giving it away. Yeah, sometimes it's also giving it to the tax man, because tax is a real thing out there, and when you're earning money over a certain amount, the tax starts to kick in. So you have to sometimes think about, okay, if I earn money this way, what is the tax rate that I'm going to incur by getting money from this source of income compared to that source of income? So it might seem a little too much. Are we all still together? Does everyone get that? Has anyone got any questions with some of those areas I've covered? Yeah. Okay. Welcome, young lady who's 14. Your mom put you on here because we're talking about financial literacy. We're talking about managing your money, learning about money. And the theme today is understanding money. So I'm just giving you a few headlights on that. So, guys, please make it interesting. Interrupt me if you're not sure about something. Put your hand up so I can see, because obviously, whilst the presentation is on, I'm not able to see. Yeah. Okay. So let me go back to my slide. Great. So making money, your 9 to 5 job. How many of you here have already started earning money and you know that, oh, I do the gardening every week and mom and dad give me £10, or I am so good at it that auntie and uncle are also hiring me at the weekend. So I earn every month. I've got £100 coming in. Put in any of you who've started earning money from anything and what from. So, if you started earning money from dividends from shares, some of you might have trust funds that have been set up and you get a regular allowance. Just put in income streams that you're already familiar with. Yeah. So most of your parents are out there doing a 9 to 5 job. Some of them are freelancers or self-employed people. You can get paid to write as a designer, bloggers, programming. You can offer consulting services based on expertise. So this is earned income from doing a job. And then there's investment or passive income. This is from when you buy things like stocks, shares, um, you know, property. Um, so bonds are literally loans to companies. So when you put your money in your savings account, you get a certain interest rate for it, say 5% interest rate. And always you want to look at the best interest rate for your savings. So as a young person, it's good to start looking at what is called an ISA, individual savings account. The reason being is it's tax-free savings. You're allowed an allowance every year where that money can go in tax-free. Once you become an adult and start working, that's where it will probably start to affect you more, because once you go over your annual allowance of tax-free money, interest on savings, everything else is going to be taxed at your highest rate of tax. Yeah. So if you're a basic rate taxpayer, imagine if you earn 20 £100 in interest from a savings account, right? If you're a taxpayer at basic rate, you're going to have to pay £20 tax. If you're a high rate taxpayer, you're going to have to pay over 40%, 45, depending on your tax status. So when you're earning money, even from investments, it's also good to look at um, places you can earn that money where it's protected from the taxman as much as possible. Otherwise, that's just another hole. So it might be a bit too much as I'm talking to you. Just let me know if I'm going too far. But yeah, there's investment income. That's another route. Business ownership. How many of you are entrepreneurs in here? Boss ladies and boss men? How many of you have got your small businesses, are thinking about, setting up an Etsy store, selling beats online? I've got one of my nephews, he sells beats online, makes quite good money. I'm like, whoa, okay. And with this age of AI, there's loads of even expanded income stream options that have come up as well. You might dream of having a small business, or maybe your parents have a business, a care business, mortgage business, franchise. Yeah. So business ownership is another route of making money. And then there's royalties and intellectual property. So your brain, your designs, your books, your music, your paintings, your inventions. So as an individual, even if you're one of those creators, one of those shop people, you can make money from anything. So there's so many ways to make money, and you must start thinking now, where can I place my skills? Where can I place my gift to make money? It was only sadly a few years ago I realized, there's a platform called voices.com where people, for just having a nice voice and talking into it and maybe doing an advert, for the taste in it, you're getting paid £400 for just using your voice. And so there's money everywhere. And you just have to place yourself in areas where you can earn it best. This area is so important because this is going to determine a lot of your financial journey. There's a saying that says it's not how much you earn, but how much you get to keep that counts. Remember earlier I talked about money coming in, and everything wants your money. And if you're not careful, you'll be left with nothing and you'll be saying, what just happened here? Have I been robbed? And actually, it's been your choices. You have the one powerful thing to choose where your money goes. Their needs in life and their wants. And needs are things that you can't do without, things you need a roof over your head. So you need to pay rent, or you have to have a mortgage for a house. And if you're lucky and you're blessed, and this is what we're hoping for when we talk about generational wealth, there'll come a time where you have houses that are fully paid. Your children should be able to have a house or two houses before they start working, that they don't need to worry about rent or mortgage. But we're first generation, most of us here in Europe. So we're starting afresh. And utilities, bills, gas, water, electric. Many of you have, your mom said, "Hey, switch off your light." you know, um, Brandon, I can see the artist in you. You're doing artwork on my slides there. And groceries, basic meals, food. One of the things when you really need to get a handle on when you go to uni is eating out, because many of the children when you go to uni won't be able to cook really well. And there's a takeout culture of, I'm just going to have a takeout, I'm going to have a takeout. For that £10 that you do a takeout, you can buy rice, beef, whatever, and eat for a whole week. Yeah. So takeout is a want, and the wants are the things that will eat your money up compared to the needs. So you need to really be mindful every time you're spending money to say, hold on, is this a need or is this a want? Do I need this? And it's not to say that you shouldn't get the wants, but just plan for them. Do what is called delayed gratification. Don't dive in there. We have a culture now where there's a lot of Klarna, credit pays, like buy now, pay later. And when we want something, you're like, I want it, I want it, I want it. And you get it. But what you've done is you've robbed your future of that money now, because now you owe somebody. And there's a statement in the Bible that says that the person who is a debtor, you are a slave to the lender. Because when you owe somebody money, they're calling you saying, "Where's my money? I need my money back. Can you give me my money?" So, what I would encourage you, just get into the habit. Don't get into the habit of borrowing from people. If you just don't have that day, you just don't have, just make do. You can get on with it. If you say, "Oh, I'll give you next week, I'll live," you're always living chasing your tail. And that's not a good feeling. Yeah. So spending money is crucial to understand what you're doing. Saving, growing your money. You have ISAs, accounts like I mentioned. Junior ISAs are linked to stock market trading. You can get your parents to help you with that. Your attitude to risk counts there, but your parents can help you set up a long-term ISA. Like I said, the beauty of doing it now is that you're investing for the future. And stock markets, what are stocks, or and what are shares? Shares are investment in companies that are out there. So you go to Tesco, you go to Asda, you buy a Tesla. Those are companies owned by, but owned by shareholders. If you go onto the stock exchange, you'll notice that every day there's a different price. Oh, Tesco shares have gone up, they've gone down. So when you now invest in a, say, index fund, or if you've heard of the FTSE 100, the GAD, the cap, whatever, different, there are a bunch of shares put together. And what that does is it minimizes the risk, but it also gives you an opportunity for long-term growth. Because every time you hear, "Oh, Tesla's making money," you're part of a Tesla shareholder. You've also got some money coming from there. They pay you dividends. And if you reinvest them and reinvest them as the share price goes up, let's say you buy a share at £10 a share, and the company is growing and growing, and at some point it's now worth £50 a share. That growth is yours. You've invested £10 and you're going to get back 50. So that's the general concept around shares. And bonds are loans to companies, because companies, to grow, generally need money. So they borrow money from individuals, from people, and they pay a higher rate of interest. So those are known as stocks. Governments borrow money, and government bonds are known as probably the most safest ways of investing on there. So yeah, Sit down after this session with your mom and dad. Your parents probably have financial advisors, like the ones that we have in our team. And you can start to say, Mom, I want to understand more. They've probably been investing some money for you. How is my money growing? How can I make sure that by the time I'm 50, I have, what are the options? Start to get a little interested in these conversations with your parents, because it's risky. You can lose money on investments. You can put in and get and lose money. I want you to really be wary of, you're out there on TikTok, on social media. They are, what can I call them? Wolves in sheep's clothing, that just gives you highlights of, oh, put your money in here, da, 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 and you'll double your returns. And because you're thinking, I heard this about investment, I want to go in, my advice to you is stay clear. If it's not a regulated advisor and you're quite young, just stay away from it, and ask a trusted adult. Go to regulated investments with somebody who can help you until you've got your own 2 feet and you understand as you're growing up. um so many people have lost money, honestly. I cannot tell you, even now, grown people, I've had 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds coming to me and saying, oh, I was robbed. And I'm like, what happened? And it's like, well, they said I could double my returns, and so I took my life savings and I put the money in there, and in this investment, and they said it was a crypto fund, and you've just, because you've heard Bitcoin and crypto is making money, you think, I'll just go in there. You can really miss the mark and be scammed left, right, and center. So be cautious, but not to the extent of, like I keep saying, talk to your parents about it, but understand it, learn to understand it, because there's a lot of money to be made. There's a great future to be built on that as well. Things like your pensions, or when you hear about pension, retirement income, it's built in these sort of investments, which are long-term investments. Yeah, property, real estate. There's ways of investing in real estate without actually buying property itself. So that's one area. The other area is borrowing money. You know, there's loans, there's credit cards, and you'll probably, a few of you might come across credit cards pretty soon. I think once you're 18, you can apply for a credit card and they'll give it to you. It's not your money, you know, it's the institution's money. But when used correctly, it can help you in times of emergency to manage cash flow. Because what happens with the credit card is, when you buy something today, you don't have to pay it back today. They'll give you, from the date your statement is printed up to the end. So let's say if I buy, the statement was printed yesterday, I buy today, this is not going to be on that statement. It's going to be on the next statement. So in effect, I can have almost 2 months before I need to pay that money back. If you ever need to use credit cards, pay it off in full. Only take what you can pay off in full, so that you don't get charged interest, because some of the interest rates are really high. Imagine someone gave you £100, but you have to pay back £130. Ah, this is the trouble with debt and borrowing. You know, you are starting to operate in losing zone. So I say there's good debt and there's bad debt. There's good debt in the sense that debt that helps you leverage and get now what you could get tomorrow, that would take you a long time to buy tomorrow. Such debt are things like mortgages. Most of your parents might have a mortgage, and that's a borrowing to buy a house. Yeah, most businesses owners out there, they have debt. They start their business on some debt, or they have to borrow along the way to expand. So it's not that. So this is why I'm talking about it, because I'm not saying all debt is bad. You will need to learn about this along the way. Some of you here are going to go to uni, you're going to take student loans because you can't afford to pay it up front. So you're getting an education now to increase your value and the amount of income you can get. But that debt is going to be at a cost and you need to pay it back. So you need to make sure that you're an individual who lives by your word. Pay back on time, pay back what you owe. Failure to do this will disrupt that financial passport I was talking to you about, called your credit score or your credit rating. Your credit rating is anytime you borrow, even you take your home insurance and you put it on monthly direct debit, your car insurance, there's a file that is now opened for you where they're saying, did she pay? The payment date was the 10th. Did she pay back on the 10th? So you can't afford to be dipsy about your money, because what happens when you do that and you don't pay back on time? Firstly, you get fines, you get penalties, and more dangerously is that you now, sometimes doors of credit are shut to you. So when you now need money, no one is going to give you money. When you now need to buy a mortgage or something like that, no, to buy a property through a mortgage, you're going to be paying the most money compared to someone who's got good credit. So if you've got good credit, your good record, just to give you an example, it could be the difference between your monthly mortgage payment being £1,000 a month for the same house. Someone else who's got a bad credit, that very same house, they have to pay 1,500 because they've got bad credit. Imagine. So they have to work how many more hours to cover that £500, where someone who's got good credit is sleeping easy because they've managed their money well. So please safeguard your credit. You know, it's not just about knowing this, because you're going out there and you're operating in a world with people. So you can be the best at your money game. You can be so organized, but you're going to get out there into a world with other people who don't manage their money well. And uni is a typical trap. In the quest to build friendships, make relationships, you'll get some people who say, oh, just buy this for me, I'll pay you back next week. Yeah? Don't do it on your credit. Don't do it. No. Unless you have a really good relationship, like there's your sister, or you have a relationship that you can go further. The amount of young people who've had their credits ruined by being told, oh, just get this iPad for me, oh, I'll pay it back or whatever, and they don't pay it back, and now it's in your name. You are the one who has to pay it back. So don't take debt on behalf of other people. Don't be bullied or manipulated. There's some people, there are financial bullies out there who literally target people who are organized, sensible. You need to safeguard yourself. If you ever feel under threat, go and tell a trusted person, report, because you know they could be actually committing a crime, and you don't be that person who puts people under pressure because you've not you know managed your money well. Yeah. Protecting your money. Yeah, I said avoid buy now pay later enticements. you know Learning how to just save is a good thing if you can, because especially if it's a want, it's just a desire of your heart, isn't it? You don't really need it. You're not going to die if you don't have it. But life sometimes throws you into situations where you are desperate. This is where you then I've got something that I can use this option, because you're in trouble. But understanding how these things work is important, because it helps you navigate your journey well, knowing that, okay, so I don't have money here, I'm stuck. I remember just a month ago, I was on holiday. I talk about insurance as well. Insurance is important against your assets or your property being damaged when you're traveling. Travel insurance. I was on holiday having a lovely half term with my daughter. We're running for a hotel bus. I just stop suddenly, and as I stop, I just hear fractured my ankle. Oh, had to go to a hospital in France, had to pay £400 equivalent. I had to think I'm going to get on the plane. They said, no, you're not getting on the plane. You have to wait for 48 hours. Da, da, da. And I'm like, okay, so here we are in France. Our holiday was over, but now I have to stay. So I now needed to pay for a new hotel. I needed to buy new flights. So these are emergencies that sometimes happen. But thankfully, I had travel insurance. And I was like, hold on, my travel insurance can kick in here. And they kicked in, and they paid for my hotel, they paid for my flights, they sorted me out. So that little investment in travel insurance when you're traveling, it protected my money, because otherwise that was 300 or 3,000 or so pounds that I was going to be out of pocket just because I've broken my leg. So I'm in trouble, and I'm in trouble again. So insurance helps you do that. Your parents probably have home insurance on the contents. you know um your phones, your iPhones, in case you lose them. Sometimes you forget them somewhere, so they can claim and get it back. So insurance is something that in your journey you'll get to know. If your parents work for themselves, some of them will have something called income protection or sick pay cover, so that if they fall ill, they can still be earning money, and life insurance, everyone at some point is going to go, life insurance is there to protect the income projections that you are going to be working until 70, and you are going to leave your children with this or your family with this. So all these things are actually just safeguarding, and they're things that every individual, as you're budgeting, you have to be thinking of your priorities. What are the things that I need? What are the things that I want? Budgeting is actually protection of your money, because guess what? The minute you walk out that door, everyone is trying to get your money. You walk into Debenhams, okay, no, Debenhams not really around anymore, but into any department store, there's that right music, there's the right ambience. Mhm. Who wants to receive this recording? Please stop messing about with the buttons, guys. Yeah. um, you know, um, so budgeting is your safeguarding um against things that um even peer pressure. Oh, you're not buying this, you're not buying another drink, guys, I can't be going out with you tonight. I just don't have it. And at uni, it's especially important, because you're trying to fit in, you want to make friends, but then your wallet is also saying something, and you end up in trouble financially, because you're trying to follow the Joneses. And this phenomena doesn't end, so many adults are in this spell where, oh, I must drive the latest Lexus, I must drive this, but all of it is on debt, where they're paying debt, heavy debt for it. They can't even not go to work or take a day off, because they need to be paying everybody. So remember that, you mentioned, someone said to me, I want financial freedom. Sometimes freedom comes from the simplest things. It's not even the more money you have, it's the less outgoings you have. Being content with the simple things, going for a walk, this discovering what are free museums that I can attend and still have a good time, looking for bargains, become a bargain hunter. See how you can spend less and have more quality time in your life. Time is the biggest currency that you can have, and how you spend that, because if you're always at work making lots of money and you never get a chance to even just enjoy the sunshine, it's not really worthwhile. So budgeting will allow you to come to alignment with what do I want, what do I need. Okay, am I now just following the crowd here, or is this actually part of what I want to do as well? Yeah. And then learning to be assertive financially, learning to be assertive. Don't be a people pleaser. Do what works within your means. um, Fraud prevention, that's another thing to protect your money. Your financial details, your name, your date of birth, don't put your things lying out there. The minute you're 18, I think you can now have a credit check system, where you literally have notifications of someone has opened an account in your name. There's so many people who've had their identities cloned and money taken out in their name and all sorts, and there are people literally daily data mining, trying to access your details. So, use strong passwords, uh, two part authentication, and yeah, just less is more. Less is more. And discernment, increase your discernment. It's not what people always say. The other day we were walking on the street, and this man came, said, oh, my sister, I'm your brother, I'm homeless, I don't have money, I don't have this. And I something in me just said, this man, you know he you know he this is actually his 9 to 5. He's doing this, and lo and behold, A few days later, we saw him somewhere else. Someone else said they saw him. So he works areas just with his sub story. That's how he's actually earning money. That's his job. That's his 9 to 5. And he's preying on kind hearted people who've been good, who are sensitive. So, you know, whilst you may be good, you're not living in a bubble, you're living in a world with other people, so you must have an awareness of what are scams that are out there, what are things, just have a know-how of how to protect yourself. And then passing money on, gifting money, giving is a part of this life. We give and we receive. It's a blessing to give, and I can see we've got some artists here who are doing their artwork on my on my slides. May you get paid for that artwork, hey. So think about your giving as well. Yeah, your wills. So you don't need to worry about wills yet, but some of you might already be high net worth individuals where you know some of you young footballers, actors, you're already earning money, you know, and you need to think, okay, what would happen? What do I want my money to go to if something goes wrong? Trusts, parents might set up trust funds for you, estate planning and tax. So once you start having assets, you need to think about the tax man. You need to think about how to give money in a clever way, maybe to charitable organizations and things like that. So I know I've done a lot of talking here. I'm just want to open the floor before these. We now have oh, somebody said every week I get paid and my parents get paid. Fantastic. Someone makes money from reselling clothes on Vinted. Amazing. I buy and sell online. Fantastic. So we've already got some earners here. Great. Now, does anyone have any key questions first before I go back onto some of those areas we touched upon? Does anyone have any questions that they want to ask about any of the sessions I talked about? So just remember 6 areas, 6 pillars to make about money. It's not just enough to know how to make money. You need to know how to spend money. You need to know how to protect your money. You need to know how to invest or grow your money or save your money. You need to know how to borrow money. And you need to know how to give or pass money on. So those 6 things, you need to have them at the forefront of your mind on a daily basis. Yeah. So if you're shy to talk, you can put your question in the chats here, and if you don't want to do it publicly, you can personalize the chat on there. So does anyone have any questions for me right now from what I said, or you're just receiving? Because this is a session for you. If I tell you my journey, like I said, oh, look, you have a business on Big Cartel. So we have some income earners here. How do you not get tempted to spend for your wants? Okay. So you must always have short, medium, and long-term goal plan. Right? Draw 3 circles: short, medium, long term. So in the short term, what things do you really want? What things do you really want? And short term is like within the next year. Because every time you focus on the things that you really want, sometimes you'll know that some of the temptations that come to rob you of what you really, really want. Someone said, I want freedom. Yeah, I want financial freedom. So freedom means you can go where you want, when you want. You're not bonded. Yeah. If someone wants that bad enough, the choices that they will make on a daily basis. If someone says to you, oh, come and take this car, this nice Range Rover, the payments are £800 a month. So for £800, you know that, I have to be working 5 days a week 6 days a week to afford this car. Already your freedom has been taken away. So as much as you want that Range Rover, do you really want to be working 6 days a week? No. Your time, your freedom is more important. So actually, no, thank you. I would rather go and buy that old banger for £2,000 that gets me around from A to B. It's all good. I don't care so much about what people see me in this Range Rover. But if you really, really want it, you can save for it. You can work towards it. and you put it there as, I really, really want it, but I don't want to be in jail for it. Yeah. So putting it clearly, what do you really want? Short, medium, long term. Because sometimes if you're not careful and you focus on what you need, what you want, you might actually lose what you need. Does that make sense? So let's picture you at uni. You wanted to go out with your friends. You had a budget of £100 for the week. You wanted to go out with your friends. You wanted to have fun. So you have a takeaway, and you go out. The taxi, you get a taxi because it just feels good. It was late at night when you got back, and the club was £30, £40. So that £100 that was for food for the week and your bus fare, you've spent it, you've blown it in one night. So actually, now you're in trouble. You need to have food for the rest of the week, but you don't have it. Why? Because you blew it on the once. Is that to say that you can't have once? No. Maybe with your £100, if you had said to yourself, I really want to go out, I want to go out, and you save that wanting to go out, say, end of the month, I'm going out. But I'm going to spread out my food a bit. I'm going to take £20 each week from that £100 budget. I'm going to put £20 each week, £20 each week, so that when I go out, I'm going out. End of the month, I go out. So you've still managed your needs. You've cut back from maybe some of the needs. You've, not eaten as much, but now you manage to go out. So it's that sort of mindset of thinking, what do I need? I should never jeopardize my needs, but what do I? These are wants. They're not necessities. They're wants. Because in the midst of all of this, you've probably heard a lot of your parents saying, "Life is lifing." Life will life. So you have your best laid plans. Having some plans in place is fantastic, because what will happen sometimes is those plans are going to be disheveled. You're making money. Somebody says they've got a shop on Big Cartel. Congratulations. We're gonna visit your shop. Hey, what do you sell there, Hannah? Let's go and see Hannah's shop and her store. That's really inspirational. And someone sells lip gloss. Yeah, fantastic. I'd love to hear some of your voices, guys. Someone sells stuff on eBay. Amazing. You buy and sell online. So all of you are starting to get into the habit of Zico, you're the lucky one here. Mom and dad, are they the ones who pay you? Do they give you money, pocket money, or an allowance? Awesome. Yeah. So I hope that answers your question. The individual who is that who says, how can I get tempted? So temptation is all around us. Temptation will never go. Temptation is always there. We are human beings. You want what you want. Who doesn't want good things in life? You want it, and you want to have it now, actually, but you have a choice. By delaying your gratification, you can still have what you want with no drama, by planning for it and putting it ahead. So, putting a plan in place, holding yourself accountable to your budget, it will help you make sure that you do get it anyway. But by the time you have it, it's with peace, because it's not coming as a result of chaos all around you. I hope that's helped you there. Are there any platforms that you recommend to start investing in stocks? Um, Yeah, I don't want to recommend anything, but I know your mom will have a chat later, Megan. Um, and there's so many platforms out there as well, which are like dummy platforms. Yeah. So dummy platforms are good platforms to just start playing around and getting a feel of what does this actually look like without using real money. So it's like playing a game, yeah? So you get to understand to say, and they use it based on the real share prices of the different shares on the market. So it gives you a flavor to say, if you had £1,000 today, how would you use it? And I'm going to ask you guys right now, if you were to do a budget right now and you had £1,000, what would you do with it? I just want to talk to you about it. What would you do if I gave you £1,000 today? How would you spend it after our session today, and why? That's my little ask from you, just to check that you've been engaged. Are there any small or big ways to get money for 14-year-olds? Now, guys, money is everywhere. Money is everywhere. You know, spend 200 and save the rest. Okay, that's really good, Tendi. Yeah, because you need to feel that joy of, I've got the money, and then save the rest. How would you save it? Where would you save it? Okay, someone wants to start selling online but doesn't know how to start. Are there any online sellers here? Hannah's there. Hannah Chirumuta. Can you unmute for us and tell us how you started your online store and how that's going? Because you said you've got a business. Fantastic. How do you do the business? Those are selling online. Yeah. Guys, anyone, Hannah? Oh, she don't want to talk, you're shy. Okay. Anyone who's not shy, who's got an online business, who's happy to just unmute, even if some of the parents are here who have online businesses.
Hi, it's Michael.
Hi, Michael.
I started selling clothes on Vinted like a couple months ago,
Uh-huh.
and at the start, like it was going well, but I feel like because Vinted is like a second-hand shop,
Mm-hmm.
you can only sell stuff like really cheap,
Okay.
and like the target audience is teenagers as well,
Okay.
so they don't have much money.
Yeah.
So like now it's kind of slowed down, and I'm not getting that much.
Okay. How much did you make?
So far I've made 200.
That's not bad. From old clothes that you didn't like anymore, didn't fit.
No, not really. I've spent like 180 though.
Okay. So you bought stuff and then you sold it on Vinted.
Yeah.
Okay. So you spent 180 and you made 200 profit, or what you bought back? Was your profit £20 or £200?
£20.
£20. That's good. You know, it's good to have that experience of becoming a buyer and a seller. I know someone who went to is it TK Maxx or something, and they bought these is it Chanel earrings somewhere for like £30, and then they sold them on another app for like £80. I was like, whoa, that's a good profit margin. So, you know, um, Amazon selling. I'm going to send to all your parents who've registered. I'm going to send you. There's a woman who's a part of our Understanding Money team who teaches on Amazon selling, how to become an Amazon seller. So you don't even need to own or to hold any of the goods yourself. So any of you guys who are interested in online selling, I think it's a powerful skill and, to learn in the digital age that we are in. So I will send you a link to her later on. Once we're done, I'm going to send it to everyone who's registered, for any of you who are interested. But well done, Michael. That's really good. Because the market has just changed, right? Okay.
Yeah, it has.
That's nothing to be shy about. £20 is £20 that you would have never picked up on the street, and that's life. You've got to learn how to make money with what you have. Those women in the markets back in Africa, I don't know if you've ever seen those markets, they go and they buy somewhere and they come to the market and they sell to get that little profit margin. So that is available online. There's, of course, safety rules you need to be conscious of. But yeah, that's good. You need to start thinking, where's my money at? Where can I make money? Somebody, I have a cousin who buys anime figurines and other collectives online for really cheap. And then he resells the items for higher price on Depop and gets a lot of profit. Fantastic. So you need to think profit margin. Where can I get that difference? The other thing is services, guys? Services. Are there any artists or creatives here? Any of you really creative or really artistic? Really good? Yeah, you can sell iPhone pods. Yeah, yeah. No, you're creative. There's Again, I'm gonna put all these links in the group, in the email that I send out to your parents. There's a website called Fiverr. Fiverr, I don't know if you've even used it for your services. Yeah, you do certain work for people. Let me see if I can have even go there and just show you. There's Fiverr, there's voices.com. If you've got a good voice, like, I don't know what I did, some of those adverts that you get, they get paid. They're called jingles. They get paid for doing those jingles. So there's money that you don't even need your face there. It's just your skills. So some of the skills that you're using at school for writing books, you get paid royalties, for speaking engagements. So it's also just starting to play around. What are my gifts? How can I place those gifts and skills, or what skills can I get to make money now? And just practice it. That little bit of profit is good for you, because it just gives you, starts to build your confidence. Never despise that small 20 pounds. Next time it'll be 200, then 2000. But yeah, there is a lady who does a special training on Amazon, selling and reselling. I buy iPhone pods for £20 and sell them for 95. Leo, that is good money. That is sweet profit right there. That is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah. So it's just having your mind thinking, don't think consumerism. Think, how can I get that money coming into me? So for me, every time, I don't like shopping actually. I don't like shopping because every time I hear ting, 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 and I say, hey, money's left my account. I have a Monzo account, and the Monzo account, it goes, doo, doo, doo. When money comes in, I'm like, yeah, that's the feeling I want to have. Money coming to me. So, even when you have your conversations with your parents and you're putting them under pressure, oh mom, I need this, I need that, I need that. Don't be a once person, be an investor, have an investment mindset, think in the future, because freedom to travel the world, freedom to, time is the real currency. You don't want to be tied to a job, or just to pay all these outgoings. Less is more, and you'll be amazed some of the things that give you the greatest joy. Time with friends, time, just expressing your creativity in a different way, working on your own terms. And you can only do that when you're not yoked or trapped financially. Yeah. And just using the tools that are there. So every tool that I've mentioned is useful, but it's useful for, as long as you're thinking about, is this money going to work for me? So when someone goes and gets 100,000 debt to buy a house, yeah, it's a mortgage, it's a big debt. On paper, they'll tell them that you'll pay back 1,800 by the time, 180,000. You've borrowed 100,000, they'll pay back 180. It's a lot, but they're thinking, in that time, I'm going to put a tenant in that house. They're going to pay rent for that property. So I'm not really paying that. And on top of that, houses increase in value. Remember what I talked about, inflation. Think about, is this an asset or is it a liability? Whenever you're spending your money, think about, is this an asset or is it a liability? People have made money with stamp collections, antiques, go to antique shows, and those boot sales. Have an eye, if you've got an eye for fine art, you could go and pick up what looks like junk to somebody, but oh, this is 18th century chaka chaka, and you resell it, or you put it on a bidding line and get paid money for that. So it's you just thinking, how can more money come my way? I spend less, but I enjoy the life that I have. Because if you don't, money will become, it's a bane of life. It can ruin relationships, it can ruin friendships, when you don't handle it well. Yeah, when you don't handle it well. So we've got quite a few entrepreneurs here. Anyone else who's got any other questions? Because I guess at this stage, someone would spend 100 and invest 800. And what would you invest in? Have any of you started investing already? Has anyone, any investors here? No, not yet. Do any of your parents invest? And you know that, oh, my parents are into property investments, my parents are into shares. Okay. You're still young. How old are you? That's good. 13. Yeah. You're still young, but you're not young to know this information. And knowledge is power. Like I said earlier, this time, this investment of time that you've had today, it's going to it's going to change you, because you now need to know that your real currency is time. How are you going to get paid the most for the least time? There's one teacher here and another teacher here. They're both teaching maths. One is getting paid 40, 50,000 pounds a year more than this teacher. Why? Where this person has placed themselves. Maybe one person has decided to teach children in a private school, or children from maybe difficult circumstances, a really wealthy family but with difficult children. So you can increase your value by the skills that you gain when you can handle or solve problems or difficult problems. You get paid more. So don't ever run away from people getting paid for getting rid of trash, for recycling. There's so much money in recycling. you know and for cleaning, for people have no time, they're rushing about, so you go and you love cleaning, you're great at it, you'll get paid, and you're free, you're doing what you love. So learn to what about survey? What do you mean about survey? Filling out surveys, yeah, doing surveys. Yeah, there's surveys, you can complete surveys for things that you are experienced at, and you get paid. There's shop surveys, retail surveys, £20, £30. There's some people who do that full time. They're at home doing surveys because they don't want to go out there into the workspace. So there's just take yourself out of the limitations. You can get paid for your sports, for running, get paid for singing, you can get paid for dancing, but it's where you place that skill, where you place that gift. We're in this digital age. AI is here. A lot of the jobs, so you must get good at whatever you're doing. You must know how to make money. What things will people always want? There's money in farming. If you've got green fingers, maybe like your granddad, there's money everywhere. But just understanding this money journey, understanding costs, understanding outgoings, understanding where is my money going? Is this working for me? You know, this buying this at the top, it's nice, I like it, but do I need it? I remember someone saying to me once, "Oh, Tendai, with this your job, you need a nice big posh car so people know that you're talking about money." I said, "My friend, yeah, if I get it, I want it, but it just has to come at no big cost. I'm not going to go and pay 500, 600 a month. My heart is to travel, and I like to be free. I don't want things that are hindering me, tying me down. Time freedom is yes, yes, yes. Someone says, "Can you earn when playing games or reviewing online?" Yes, you can. However, like I keep saying to you guys, I don't want you to get too obsessed with making money, money, money now, because it's good to make money, but there's some things like gaming, you can also get addicted to certain things. And there's a fine line between earning money and gambling. Some of these games become gambling. So stay away from gambling. Gambling is often disguised as you're gonna make money. I put £10 on this bet and I made £50. It's not a set formula. If you add it up, most gamblers, they are leaving money there. They're taking a risk. So, you must be cautious not to become addicted to things like gambling as well. So, yeah, you can, look at car racing, look at the Schumachers. That's a game. That's a sport, right? But it's a game. And they're getting paid big money because they've gotten really good at it. So get real good at what you like, discover your passions, find a safe way and safe place to place your gift so that you can get paid for it. Imagine if you love what you're doing. Like for me, I love helping people, I love solving complex problems. My job is solving complex problems, and I get paid for it. So sometimes it really does my head in, but I get the energy to do it because I enjoy doing that and I love working with people. So I'm in my happy zone every day, you know? But if I didn't like working with people and I had to deal with people every day, it'll be like, get these people out of here, you know? So use this time to discover yourself, to explore, what do I like? What do I enjoy? Is there money in this, you know? Because I think we grew up in an age where it was like you have to be a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher. No, you know, you have to be a lawyer or a doctor. That's it, you know. And pushed into the science world. And I understand. I mean, I grew up mainly in Zimbabwe. So the opportunities there were limited, you know. But here in England, I'm telling you, there is literally there's money everywhere. There's money in everything. Just get good at whatever you're doing, put your 100% into it, put your passion into it. And as you earn money, learn to invest, learn to put that money somewhere else so that that money is working for you. You know, use your time wisely. Make sure that wherever you're putting your money, you enjoy some of it, but some of it is going to work for you so that tomorrow you can have money that's just coming in while you're relaxing, you know, because that's the name of the game. Most people who you just see every day, you know, I remember when I first came to England and we were doing uh work in like I said, McDonald's was my first job. You're grinding, and I would just see some people sitting there just having coffee, and I'm thinking, "Ah, they're just sitting having coffee, looking like they're enjoying the when do they work? It's the middle of the day. They're not at work, and I'll be having to run in the bus, catch the bus, go to work, and you know, and I look now and I'm thinking, I have that life now. I can be anywhere in the world, and I've just got my laptop and I'm working and I'm getting paid, you know. So design the life that you want. Think, what do I want? Write a vision board, have a vision board, have a vision for your life, and start to work towards it, you know. Start to understand, is there money in this? Oh, I could get paid. Who's getting paid? When you go on social media and you watch those influencers doing drama and you're watching them for hours, they are doing acting, you know. Those are not their real lives. A lot of them, they're doing acting to get attention, you know. Back in the day, we used to have someone called Jerry Springer because people like stories, people like drama. Yeah. So Jerry Springer would come up with the most controversial issues on TV and everyone would be watching. His ratings on his show were massive. He made a fortune, you know, by just looking at drama, bringing controversy. So, you know, I'm not encouraging you to go and bring controversy, but if you're somebody who likes stories and yeah, you know, the acting world, do something that you enjoy it, you know, place your gift in a place where there's money. Don't just be stirring up trouble in friend circles for nothing. Let it work for you, bring some income from you, you know. Is it America? Who's this talk show host? There's these podcasts nowadays, you know. There's so many different things you can do just to think outside of the box and start to think about, okay, so now with this thousand that I've got, what can I do? Shall I buy a piece of land? Can I buy some shares? What are the top, you know, use your we've got research tools, deep search that can show you in the last 10 years what have been the greatest growth areas, you know. Um yeah. So just and with everything you're doing, you've got the safety net of your parents. That's what I want to keep leaning you back to. You've got your parents. Use this time wisely. Don't just be at home sleeping your day away in bed playing games, Nintendo. No, use the time wisely. Yes, there's time to play Nintendo, but also learn from them. They're there to mentor you because life is you're going into the real world soon. As Megan was mentioning, you'll be in the real world soon and you'll have to make decisions, and life is not going to be waiting for you to say, oh, what did you? No. Enjoy your childhood, but start to learn some of these skills in a safe zone, you know, but read around so that as you step into the world, trust me, many, because they didn't understand, they didn't know, you know. I know a story of one young guy. He wanted to go and work in finance. He wanted to be a banker, right? And you know, he went to uni. Someone said to him, you know, like sometimes when you don't have money and you're like, Joe, I've got no money. And someone said to him, I can help you. Just get me an iPad and I'll give you £200. Yeah. So I was like, okay. And he took him to, you know, those car phone warehouse shops, whatever, to buy an iPad. he didn't realize it was coming on credit, on his credit facility. So they give you the iPad, they get you to sign thing. He was seeing it all, but he just said, oh, 43 pounds. He didn't quite get it. Then he got the 200 pounds and he thought, oh, good deal. I got some money. Next month, they're taking direct debit. He's like, 45 pounds for what? Then another 45 pounds. Here's 45 pounds, 45 pounds. 2-year contract. Yeah. So now he was trapped in this 2-year contract. Someone do the maths for me. 45 pounds times 2 years. How much is that? So you must know your numbers as well. Anyone who's worked that out? 45 pounds times 2 years. This guy gave him 200 pounds. And it seemed good at the time because these people are very good at speaking. They'll speak the language. 45 pounds for 45 times 2 years. No, 45 pounds a month. So how many months are there in 2 years? There are 24 months in 2 years, yeah? So 45 times 24. What's that, guys? Exactly. 1,080 pounds he was committed to pay back, and he only got 200 pounds. So he got 200 pounds now because he was so desperate for money now. Someone got him to sign a contract. He didn't know the fine print. And he couldn't afford 45 pounds every month on his budget. Yeah. So guess what happened? He got what is called a county court judgment on him, a CCJ. A CCJ is a notification on your financial passport to say you have taken a credit commitment, you failed to pay. And so that was now bad on his credit report. It stays there for 6 years. After he finished uni, he wanted to go and work in banking. Would they let him go and work in banking? No, because part of the requirements of the job is you have to have a clean credit record. Imagine you've been for 200 pounds, he sold his, the story of Jacob and Esau. He sold his birthright for a bowl of soup. Yeah. For 200 pounds today, he was swindled because someone came with the sweet language, um, that got him in trouble. Yeah. So you must, you know, if you're not sure, go and ask a trusted adult to say, someone is proposing this for me. Don't let financial bullies bully you into anything. Sit down, do the maths, ask a friend, if you're not sure about anything. Don't just go for it. And if you're feeling, anytime you feel uncomfortable, because sometimes adults will do that to you either. Hey, I'm always helping you. Da, 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 give me that money. And you're like, I don't feel comfortable about this because there's also financial abuse that's out there. So understanding money is just being mindful of that whole picture, having a good plan, you know, having some trusted people you can talk about. You don't talk to about it to everybody, but trusted people who you talk about and show your goals because they will be inspired. We want you, the next generation, to do better for than us financially. Um, yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, all the mathematicians in the house. Yeah. So, maths is really a very important language subject to stay on top of because the world is all about money. From buying milk in the supermarket. The other day, I went to the supermarket and I was like, hey, you really need to have a maths brain to make a decision on what to buy because guess what? These are the tricks that are out there. I remember looking at one thing. It was like this bottle, right? It's a, can you see it properly on my frame? These two bottles, right? The bigger bottle, it had less mils than this smaller bottle because it was just packaging, but it was costing more. So because it's bigger, you think, oh, I'll get that one. But you really need to look at how many mils, what is the cost per mil. So when you're shopping, you have to be thinking, what is the cost per mils of this? So when you're spending money, these are some of the things that you have to decide because the marketing gimmicks, and if you're an entrepreneur, you're doing those marketing gimmicks. You're trying to maximize your profit. So you're saying, you know what? To put this plastic, it'll only cost me 5p, but actually people will pick this up more. So that's your trick as an entrepreneur, right? But as a consumer, you need to be mindful and think, these numbers are not looking good. So yeah. I hope that's given you a little overall picture on understanding money. I don't know if anyone has any other questions. We've got about 10 minutes left. Speak now. This is, oh, thank you. Thank you for that compliment. Does anyone else have any questions that they would like to ask? I'm going to send a link in the email that registers of this workbook that I've written called Understanding Money Workbook. It goes into a little bit more detail, which you might find boring, but it's got some quotes about money. And it also comes into uh, thinking about these six pillars or six gears I've talked about, you need to be aware of. And then it also challenges you to think about your personal relationship with money, because money, money, yeah. Are you one of those people who, whatever you see, I want it, I want it, I want it? You have to second guess your this relationship with money. Is this a healthy relationship? Is this a fruitful relationship? Is this going to work for me? So I've got for the next couple of days, it's on Amazon Kindle. You'll be able to download it for free. So I'm hoping that this is going to be one of those people. Yeah. I'm hoping that you're going to have a fantastic relationship with your money, that your money is going to grow, that you're going to have a stable financial future where you're not worried every day. Just, oh, is the bailiff knocking on the door because you're in so much debt? But you manage what's coming in, you invest wisely, you give what you can afford to give in an appropriate way. You pay your taxes, and you understand the different asset classes as you grow, and use the best ones for you. You use all the tax wrappers and advantages that are available in the system that you live in as well. Yeah. But yeah, let's grow some. I call this concept of learning how to make money, growing money trees. So go out there and think about, where are my money trees? If you're someone who's really good at cleaning things, you know, offer mom and dad, mom, dad, can I clean your room? Because they're gonna hire a cleaner. They need to be relieved of time. Mom, can I do a deep clean of this house? Will you pay me £50 for it? You'll be surprised. They'll pay you £50. Go do that deep clean. Use your time wisely instead of spending all the time on Netflix. Um, yeah. Yeah, if you just want to keep it, that's absolutely fine. But in keeping the money, remember earlier I mentioned about inflation, yeah? In keeping the money, make sure that you're putting it somewhere. Don't put your money under the mattress. Because under the mattress, inflation is eroding it. Like I said, £100 last year is not going to buy you the same things. It's more like £80 today. So you've actually lost money, you know? You've actually lost money if you don't do that. You did that once, and it's been 4 weeks. Yeah, no, sign a contract, bring them contract and say, Mom, Dad. But I suppose, at home, chores are something that you have to do. It's part of family life, right? But think of something else. It's a seed into your own family lifestyle. If you get so good, they will now speak. There's a statement that says your gift will make room for you and set you before great people. Sometimes you have to do things that are called lost leads. I don't know if you've ever heard of the statement lost leads. I've done that a lot in my life. Lost leads is doing like pro bono work. Speak to any of those actors in Hollywood. They go and they do and they clean. They just be there to offer teas and coffees, hoping for an opportunity, because you want to gain favor. Money is in the hands of people. People are holding your money. Customers are holding your money. So if you become likable because of your nature to serve, your nature to do things, guess what? Someone will say, I'm really looking for someone to clean. Mwananga no ita, she's so good. Let her come and clean, because your mom now has confidence that no, my daughter can do it. I have a 14-year-old. She loves cooking, she loves baking. And she'll come home from school and she says, I want to cook for my auntie. This auntie, she loves this auntie of hers. She'll cook for her, she'll cook for me. It's so good, the food. So now I can confidently say, when someone says, I need a cake for my birthday, I can say, no, don't worry, my daughter will bake it for you. what do you want? And then she'll do her costing, she'll do her thing, and she now gets paid for baking cakes. She gets paid for cooking, because she's good at it. So don't always think money first. Sometimes you've got to establish a name for yourself in that area, especially when it comes to service, and charity begins at home. uh, yeah, family members never paying back money, it ruins relationships. Don't be that person, and once you see them, no, learn to say, this one they will never pay back. So don't keep giving them when they say, I don't have it, I'm not, because your money, you have plans for it, and these people are just using you as an ATM machine. It's abusing you in relationship. So um it's safeguarding, putting boundaries around yourself as well. And don't be that person, don't be that relative who, when someone says, oh, can I have £5? I remember someone saying to me, they asked me for £20. Then I gave them and said, oh, I'll give it to you on Monday. I said, okay. Then on Monday, nothing. On Tuesday, I said, hello, where's my £20? I said, it's only £20. I said, it's only £20 you didn't have. Can I have my money back, please? So there's some people who like to play those psychological games of making you feel bad, to say, oh, she's asking me, nudging me about £20 or £5. It's your £5. Why did you ask for it if you had it? So don't let yourself be bullied financially, because there are some financial bullies out there as well. And also, don't be a financial bully. Don't try and put on a persona. I said, that's £20. If I put that £20 in my daughter's share save, that's going to earn her some money. It's £20 that I can go and buy myself Nando's if I wanted to. It's my £20. And you asked to borrow. You didn't ask me to give it to you. But there are people who just think, oh, she'll be too embarrassed to ask for it back. No, every little helps. Every penny that is yours. And sometimes when you've seen people who behave like that, don't hold grudges against them. Release them, forgive them, but you've learned the lesson. I always say in life, the lesson is always yours. When things don't go the way you want, you are the one who's in the classroom. Learn the lesson, learn people, understand people. That's the journey of life. You start to know who are your faithfuls, who are the ones who are maybe still on a struggle journey, who are the dependables, and who are the friends who you can say, guys, what are we doing this summer? Let's make some money. Let's see how we make £1,000 this summer. Have a few friends like that who inspire you to push yourself into other things. Surely let's start a cleaning business together. Let's do this. Motivate you to reach out and stretch out. If you're into art, let's visit some art galleries. Can we make some paintings and sell them? What would that look like? Where would we sell them? Let's make some NFTs. NFT art, NFTs are making a lot of money. So, surround yourself with like-minded people who are also thinking progressive, fun, because money is fun to receive. Trust me. When money comes into your account, I've never seen anyone who's been sad because money has located them. So anytime money is coming in, makes you feel good. It gives you a sense of confidence, of safety, of freedom, of things are going well. So, embrace your money journey. Don't shy away from these conversations. Have conversations with your parents. They've invested in you spending this hour and a half here. So they are keen to let you learn some of the lessons that they are learning in the real world with the real credit systems. You're at an advantage now to get your foundation right, that by the time you get out there, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna have a holistic understanding. You will know where to go and look for information as well. And yeah. So someone asked, is there a follow-up? So one of the exciting things I'm working on at the moment is an online financial literacy school for young people like yourself. So I'm doing some hard work in the background. When that's done, I am sure to let your parents know. I think I'll let you guys be some of the first people who try it out, so you can give me some feedback on what you think I should add on it. But I would also love you to tell me how you found our session today. If you can put in the chat how you found the session today, whether it was useful, what you think I should add to it, whether you've learned anything as well, because I've been blabbing on, and I think I have a lot of shy people on here. So, yeah. Would you want more of these sessions? How would you want them? Would you want them physically or a mix? And yeah. Was it too much? Too little? Oh, fantastic. Thank you guys. Good. I'm grateful you enjoyed it. And even if you didn't like it, I'm not scared to take bad, constructive feedback. If you think, well, next time you need to do this more, this could help. Could you, do a demo day with us where we actually meet and show us how some of these things work? I'm really passionate about your generation having a really good start to life on your financial journey, because I think it'll solve a lot of problems that adults in the adulting world are having. Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you guys for your time. And I will send a link to the book on Amazon. You've only got today and tomorrow, I think, to download it. So be sure to go and download it. And looking forward to seeing you all thriving financially. Awesome. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Auntie.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for a very uplifting program. I
Oh,
must hold my hands up. I am not in that age bracket, but I was listening with my child and I thought it was very, very enlightening. And
oh,
keep up the good work and carry on doing what you're doing. Thank you so much.
thank you so much. Awesome.
Thank you so much. Hope to use you again. I'm one of the parents of teens, and it's been great. You've been brilliant.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
I've been watching with three of my teens. I'm an adult. I'm the mom.
Oh,
of
the
three
mum.
teens.
Oh, thank you for letting them come and join. I hope we're going to have good results and outcomes after this.
Yeah, and I just wanted to shout out to my auntie, Mrs. Chimayange. She kind of broadcast this session. So
Yes.
thank you, Mrs. Chimayange. I think I saw her. She was on the she was on the session as well.
Yes, she
Thank
kindly
you.
sponsored this session
She
as a
did. So
birthday
big shout
treat.
out to
So,
her.
yeah, God bless
Guys,
her
thank
richly
you.
for this. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. It has been great. As a parent, I wish I could have had this at my daughter's age. It has been great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
She says she needed.
Oh,
Bye.
oh, you're welcome. Bye, Chantal. Amazing.
Thank you for the lesson.
Oh, you're welcome, Noctinda. Take care. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful Saturday.
Bye. You
Bye. Yes, you can leave now, guys.